Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. It's the one video everybody listening, I'm pretty sure, saw over the weekend. If you just turned on your social media at any point, at any of them, like any platform, it comes across your feed. It was probably the first video you saw on your feed all weekend. And it was of a Phillies baseball game against the Marlins where a ball was hit into the stands and a guy, everybody runs for the ball. Typically happens when you see a ball go in the stands. A guy grabs it, runs back to his son, gives him the ball. Then a woman runs up from a section over where they ran and got the ball, says, "That was in my area." Got into a big fight. She's now known as the Phillies Karen. That's what she's known as on the internet now forever and cannot be removed ever either. And she starts getting in the face of the father, which we had the audio of him describing the scene. And eventually he just grabs the ball out of his son's mitt and gives it to her and says, fine, take the damn ball. And she walked away. Well, as the weekend progressed and how things go, it's gotten to the point where she's been identified and rumors passed that she lost her job and she can't leave the house, but who knows what's real in understanding that part of it. But certainly everybody's come after her, and great things happened afterward, which we'll get to in a second. But here's the audio of the dad describing what happened.
As soon as it cracked off the bat, it was starting to head our way a little bit. It fell and kind of bobbled between the two armrests, and I picked it up, and I just walked away and held the ball up high and put it in Lincoln's glove. And then she showed up. As she reached for my arm, she just yelled in my ear, "That's my ball!" Like super loud. I almost jumped out of my skin. Then she's like, "Those are from our seats." And I said, "There was nobody in that seat." I pretty much just wanted her to go away and be dad and show him how to de-escalate the situation. So that's where I went.
I wasn't very happy that we had to give it to her, but we can't win. She was going to get it anyways.
What a smart kid. Lincoln, by the way. Like that name. Kid's name is Lincoln.
You think he's named after Abe Lincoln?
I don't think so.
Oh, really? I thought he was. I didn't feel like that was that far of a stretch to
He's
make.
obviously named after the log, you dumbass.
Yeah, thank you,
But the
Kenzie.
logs were named after Abe Lincoln.
But no one remembers
this is
that.
inspired by the log.
No one remembers that. They're called Lincoln logs. Don't gaslight me.
I want
Yeah,
you to,
but he's a big fan of the logs. He doesn't, that's why.
I want you to let's take it to the delivery room for a second.
Okay.
Honey, isn't our baby beautiful? Oh, he's so precious. Let's name him after Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
He looks honest.
Okay, let's go back to the delivery room. Honey, isn't our baby so precious? Yes, he is. Let's name him after the log. How is that more realistic than naming him after Abe Lincoln?
Listen, I appreciate what
Maybe
Kenzie
he
said.
was conceived on top of Lincoln Logs. Like they're playing a game.
That is a tough place to do it.
I know. But you know when people do that? Like, why is your name Georgia? That's where my parents banged. Like, that's where I was conceived.
Listen, when the urge hits, it might be on top of Lincoln Logs. Can't really tell what's going on.
Just moving the couch. Good Lord.
Well, it's game night, and then things got crazy.
I don't want to be doing it on the floor. You can't get any leverage. That's no fun. Let alone on Lincoln Logs. You might as well do it on Legos.
Doing it on Lincoln Logs is like those old motels where you used to put a quarter in them and the bed would shake.
I know, the worst.
But then also, you have to draw the scenario that there's two adults on game night that are interested in being sexually intimate, but they're also playing with Lincoln Logs at one point during the night. Now, I've done a few weird things in my day, but I haven't done that.
I'm not trying to exclude you here, but Kenzie has a kid, an older kid on Lincoln Log, probably level, has already been through them. My kid's too young. Toys are all over the house at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at some point you can't put them all away, and the Lincoln Logs might have been there on the bed.
Wow.
Or in the bedroom. And
I find the crate, like, I opened a cupboard the other day and I found a piece of his alphabet puzzle. Like, why is this in here? Like, it's just unbelievable. We're like,
yeah, you can't
I
reach
don't
it.
know what he's doing when I turn around. It's crazy.
Let's just say he had an Uncle Lincoln. They named after his uncle. Possibly.
It's probably Abe Lincoln.
It could have been Abe Lincoln. But this is the situation that's gotten kind of crazy, where if you watch the video, he does go to an empty seated area where she's behind those seats. That's where the ball went. She was like, it was in my area, got in his face, and was, quite frankly, shocked the guy. When you see the video, he looks scared because she came up behind him and then just gave the ball away to teach Lincoln, named after Logs or Abraham, to, hey, listen, let's just let this woman have this ball. The kids seemed very mature about it, the most mature of anybody. The dad was great, too. But this goes to my theme that adults have become children.
Amen.
Just what are you doing? It's not the World Series, by the way. It wasn't like the A-Rod ball or something like that. I mean, it's not a ball that's going to sell for $1 million either.
And I will say, at first, I saw the video of her yelling first before I saw the entire clip.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure before it was like, oh, what a Karen, he didn't grab it out of her hand. Because haven't you seen those guys where like somebody caught it and they come up and they like pull it out? Because like that's messed up. Even if you have a kid, you can't rip something out of somebody's hands when they get it.
Right.
So I'm like, let me go back to the play just in case he was super aggressive and pried the thing out of her hands. And no, they were all reaching for it in an empty seat, and he got it first. It's kind of like how it goes. It's fun. Everyone tries to get the ball, and it's like, good Lord.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of behavior people, whenever we talk about this, people talk about the behavior they've seen at their kids' games and things.
Well, here's I guess what I'm hung up on, because I think universally everybody agrees that the woman that yelled at the guy was in the wrong. And I almost want to give her the benefit of the doubt, heat of the moment. Maybe she felt like she was wronged. I'm not justifying her behavior. I think she was in the wrong, but that's whatever. The thing that I get hung up on is the aftermath of it, where people are trying to figure out who she is, where she lives, what she does. If you go to the website The Tab, which is as reliable of a journalism source as there is, there's already controversy on whether she's Cheryl Richardson Wagner or Leslie Ann Kravitz. And the aforementioned Cheryl had to have a Facebook post where she said, yes, I live in Philly, but I'm not the crazy Philly mom. I'm a Red Sox fan. Please leave me alone. Please stop harassing my Facebook page. I think we all agree that that woman was in the wrong, but it should stop there. And I don't understand the new thing where we have to find out where people work and what they do and then try to get them to lose their job. That, to me, is the weird behavior here.
Very strange. And also, it's what it is. It's the mob on social media has to go until they get their victim, get their blood. And then they move on to the next one.
I'm split on that case. So I agree, like in certain scenarios where it's like, okay, lay off.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think people are so tired of people behaving however they want and not getting held accountable for anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it a little bit when it's like, you know, somebody's like constantly harassing you on Facebook or they do something crazy out in public. And, you know, you're like, you know what? I'm going to contact your employer. I'm going to do this because, like, social media has made people so ballsy. And people have, like, it's great to have main character syndrome in the sense of, like, you care about your life and you really make sure that your life is fulfilled. It's bad to have main character syndrome, like, in this case, when you're going to rip a ball out of a kid's hands because you want a ball, like, that type of stuff, right? And you see it everywhere. Everyone thinks they're the most important person. And I think people are sick of it. And they want people to face repercussions where instead of like, everybody didn't like you at the game and they're like, okay, fine. But then they go on with their life. It's like, no, you felt some effect to doing something bad. So I'm torn on it a little bit because it does go too far. And some instances don't, you know, it shouldn't apply. But in some arenas, it's good for people to go, wow, I really shouldn't have done that.
I guess where I get hung up on it is, okay, so I saw the video and I went, wow, she was in the wrong. Okay, I'm now going to move on and do something else with my time.
Yeah,
I don't feel the need to spend any more investment on any situation like that whatsoever.
But there's people that do have that time investment, and they love being the mob, and I'm going to go through and find her address, her employer.
The mob. Like, and maybe it is, but I don't know if the mob is the right term here. It's just like...
Because it's not like a cancel culture thing. I think it was people are sick of people. It's sad to say, but they are. They're sick of, like, bad people doing stuff, you know?
Yeah, I guess the line is, what would satisfy... I do think it's the mob. There's a small mob. It's not like a mob of thousands or millions of people, but it's...
a silent majority.
It's a silent... It's people that love... Let's say, I'm going to find this person. I'm going to be the one that gets clicks for finding out her address. And then I'm the one that's going to post that.
And that, to me, that's just as weird as the bad behavior at the baseball game. Like, I don't want to be involved in that.
Yeah.
See, now that's too far. Doing something like, here's her address, and here's that, because that can actually be scary, and that's not good. So, like I said, there's levels of accountability, and I think obviously posting someone's address for harassment on this is genuinely dangerous. Like, she's still, like, a woman, and you have all these, like, guys all riled up about it. It's like, you know, she shouldn't feel like she's going to get mugged or attacked on her way home.
Yeah, the thing is when you take, and listen, I'm not defending her. She is absolutely wrong, taking a ball out of a kid's mitt that's already in there. Are you out of your mind, you maniac? At the same time,
Right, like, never mind. Where's her address?
At the same time,
Get her!
Never mind.
at the same time, I wouldn't like my worst moment permanently on the internet and people coming after me for something.
That's what I think we've lost the empathy for, is that everybody has a bad day, and historically, people's worst days haven't been filmed and blasted in public typically.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's like we were talking about in a fact that makes your brain go boom about a month ago about how people my age, and I'm 26, people my age aren't drinking as much. And the point that I made was that I don't think people are comfortable being intoxicated in public because everybody is on a street corner trying to film them and trying to interview them, and they might just want to have a good night out and not wake up to, you know, the best case scenario being the Hawk Tuah girl, but the worst case scenario being that now they have this embarrassing moment that's going to live on forever.
Yeah. And you can't erase the internet. It's written in pen, as they always should say. It's written in pen.
The internet?
Yeah, the internet's
It's
written
not written in pen. It's digital.
I know, but the thing is it's written in pen.
like permanent.
You
Like
can't
say
erase it like a
pencil.
pencil. You
It's
never
like-
heard that before?
No one's ever said the internet's written in pen because that wouldn't make any sense. I'd push back on it.
Okay, they used to say that when it started. Back in the day, I was there when the internet started.
You were there on launch day.
Day one, baby.
Me and Al Gore were sitting there, and I go, wouldn't this thing be cool if you could put pictures of women's butts up and you could also communicate? Wouldn't it be pretty cool?
And Al Gore dapped you up. He was like, that sounds awesome. And then we can put skateboard videos on there too?
So they used to say it was written in pen. Be careful what you put on the internet because you can't erase it, you see. Even though there's ways to do things with Google and all that AI and all that crap now. You can go on that machine and do that. But, yeah, I don't know what you think about this or what you've seen at maybe your kids' games or whatever of somebody doing something and what happened in the aftermath. I agree with Kenzie because I'm kind of torn. The behavior should be thrown out there so she maybe learns that she isn't a moron. But at the same time, I don't want her losing her job over this or her home address out there or that part of it going that far. But once the ball gets rolling, what's next? You know, it's kind of like Jurassic Park. They didn't stop to think of whether they could. They should have stopped to think and whether they should when they made the dinosaurs.
I mean, I just think she's probably gotten away with being a bitch many times. That wasn't her first scolding. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Also, let's see, there was some more on Lincoln. Some people think the kid might have been named after Lincoln Park, the band.
Oh, I like that.
Also, Michelle checked in. My 14-year-old is Lincoln after Lincoln Burrows from Prison Break.
You named your kid after a Prison Break character?
Be nice, Case. We're on the radio.
Don't dox her out, Case. Don't go find her.
I didn't know we were doing that.
I posted her address.
Listen, I mean, she did check in from Round Lake. I know it'll be hard to find her in Round Lake. Good Lord, good Lord, Michelle.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. A couple follow-ups to the story we're talking about is the Phillies baseball story where the Karen went over and grabbed the ball out of a father who gave it to his son because, as she said, quote, it was in her area, the home run ball, and she grabbed it.
Area, like you purchase land at a baseball game.
This whole section's mine. It's mine.
Very, very Christopher Columbus of hers.
What we might not have said in the story is that the Marlins actually gave the kid a whole huge gift bag, and then the Phillies had Harrison Bader came out and signed a bat for him, and the kid got way more than just
He
that
had a
ball.
way better night because of it, so it all equaled out good. People were mad at her, and then he got a way better night. So
It kind of shows that good prevails eventually.
Well,
Yes.
it's a credit to the dad for de-escalating and not trying to fist fight a woman in the left field bleachers at a Marlins game. If everybody just chills out, things will work out.
it actually was also a great lesson for that kid. Like, oh, look what happened when, you didn't get in the huge fight.
You
It
didn't
was
put your
good.
dukes up and fight a woman at a Marlins game.
Punch her in the face.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah, but there's some kids that would have got in the car with Dad and goes, Dad, why'd you wuss out on that woman?
You think some kids would have done that?
I think some kids would say that.
Oh, my God.
There's some kids out there, pretty aggressive kids, man. They're scary, some of these kids. Also, we had people checking in. A lot of texts came in like, what about Bartman? What about the Bartman situation?
Okay.
Well, listen, there's a stance from a lot of different people on that. I know Kenzie has one too. But my thing is, I was live on Q101 when that Bartman thing happened. And I defended Bartman. And just to make that clear on the record, I was not mad at Bartman. I tried to get him on the air. I knew someone that worked with him. And he was very cordial and nice and just wanted the whole thing to go away.
The poor guy had to disappear. He genuinely disappeared. He never did any media or press at all. including that amazing docuseries that came out like years and years later, he still wouldn't be on that. They reached out and asked him.
They reached out to him when the 2016 parade happened, and they wanted him on the Cubs World Series parade on a float. And he said no. They were going to give him a ring, I think.
They did send him one.
They sent him a
mailed
ring?
Yeah, he has a ring. He has a World Series ring.
No way.
They corrected it and they sent it because they felt so bad. But I just think what happened to Bartman was sick because he didn't do something like, okay, people are mad at this woman. She got aggressive near a kid, took something from a kid. Bartman reached for a ball that was coming at him that if you watch the tape, a million other people in his section were also reaching for.
Yeah. I know a guy that was right next to Bartman and almost became Bartman. He reached through and didn't get the ball. He was pissed he didn't get the ball.
That feels like that should be another docuseries of I almost became Steve Bartman.
Every person around him reaching.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. The same people that were reaching for were then throwing a beer at him 20 minutes. I'm like, you were reaching.
That's the thing, is I feel like 20 years on, we should all be able to look at that situation and as a city and as the greatest city in the world go, you know what, guys? We got to take the L on this one. We handled this poorly, and that's where...
It was disgusting. It was embarrassing.
Even if, whereas Bartman was acting out of innocence and this woman might have been more aggressive...
might
have been more aggressive. This woman was more aggressive, but I still feel like the fallout of that, we should maybe take heed of the mistakes we made 20 years ago and apply it to the situation.
Also, as a Cubs fan... If we would have just played decently at all, I mean, to blame the entire thing on him is disgusting.
How dare you? How dare you suggest that, Kenzie?
Yeah, how dare we play baseball when you're making millions and millions of dollars to do so? I don't think it was his fault.
Moises Alou doesn't have a temper tantrum that caused the whole thing,
right?
And then
it was stupid.
1 out away from the World Series. Then another game happened. By the way,
lost Game 7, which everybody forgets about.
I went to Game 7.
It was your fault that they lost Game 7.
I reached for every ball and I couldn't get to one.
Oh my gosh! Give out Brian's address. Give out Brian's address.
I couldn't get to it. I was trying to reach for every ball. They had, because of what happened, by the way, and they thought the Cubs were going to go to the World Series for that Game 7. There must have been every horse policeman in a 800-mile radius that was at the game to patrol Wrigley Field after they, quote, would win and go to the World Series.
Yeah.
When I left there, how they got crushed in that game, you could hear a pin drop. The horses were just, here's all you heard. The horses going, everybody was dead silent walking out. And all you could hear was the horses.
The horses were like, this is a pretty nice night out. Lovely out here. I love this time of the year.
Great to get out of the pen.
The bar.
One final note to close out our conversation on this. The kid's name was Lincoln. That led us to a sidebar as whether he was maybe named after Abe Lincoln or Lincoln Logs, as Kenzie said. He's possibly named after Lincoln Logs, which were named after Abe Lincoln, but that's not been forgotten over the run.
Kenzie's argument is that he was conceived on Lincoln Logs.
Right, which I still believe.
It happens.
So the kid that eventually got a bunch of good prizes and got the baseball taken out of his hand, got all this stuff named Lincoln.
Yeah.
Mallory checked in, and she said, my son's first ultrasound picture, he looked like Abe Lincoln from The Penny. So we all...
Abe Lincoln from The Penny?
Right, that
like
view.
He about sideways?
from The Sopranos?
Yeah, he had the side
Born
view.
at an angle, huh?
So we almost named him Lincoln. Instead, we went with Jackson.
Like Andrew
I
Jackson?
got another historical
Complicated legacy.
But they had a daughter 2 years later, and they named her Penny.
Oh, that's nice.
From the Lincoln. Yeah, from Lincoln.
Like Lincoln. Oh.
Thank you. Thank you, Mallory, for that.
Maybe she was just really round.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Coming up in about 10 minutes, music entertainment news. We will get you tickets to Mount Joy at the United Center, among other things of recapping last night's MTV VMAs, which sounds like a break I would make a sludge in 2001. Let's talk about the VMAs. Well, some things happened last night, so we'll talk about it, play some audio of the Ozzy tribute. You have to hear that. Plus, we'll get you a chance at Queens of the Stone Age in New York, a full trip going on there. But today's a great day. If you want to call your boss a D-head, a Richard Noggin, if you will, legally you can.
Richard Noggin. I hate that.
Trying to dance around the FCC here.
Okay.
So this is what happened over in the UK. A UK supervisor, former we should say, was awarded $40,000 after it went to court that she was wrongfully fired for labeling her boss a D-head. Now, although her comments were inappropriate and regrettable, the judge said, they did not justify summary dismissal. That's what a judge said. So you can basically say that. Here's the story.
Hold on, I got to text us on that.
Boy, don't put a period at the end of it. That adds so much more weight when you put a period at the end of a text, and then you use the word D-head to it as well.
Yeah, the period's far more offensive
Yeah,
than the
really.
actual word.
Yeah, because you can put D-head LOL, and it softens it right up.
Oh,
an
that's a classic.
Or a winking emoji.
Yeah.
D-head, That's the winking emoji sound.
I like the verbal wink that you just did.
So this woman since 2018 worked at a scaffolding and brickwork company along with her brother-in-law and sister-in-law. That might be the qualifier here of why she felt she could call them that. But her brother-in-law and sister-in-law, she worked there, and she made $50,000 a year, including supervising the office's day-to-day operations, overseeing payroll. Sounds like she was pretty important to the operation. But then one day on May 22nd, May 2022, I should say, she was going through the manager's drawers to complete a task, and she discovered documents pertaining to the cost of employing her, and basically figured out that they were about to fire her and let her go. It was very upsetting. So she oversaw all that stuff, saw this information. She began to cry and laid into her employer, saying if it was anyone else in this position, they would have walked away years ago for what you make me do. But it's only because of you two D-heads that I stayed. Calling her brother-in-law and sister-in-law that.
That'll do it.
And he said, don't call me an effing D-head or my wife. That's it. You're sacked. Pack your kit and F off. It's very English.
Yeah, sacked is a word that we should be bringing over to the States.
Oh, that's a good word.
Yeah.
Pack your kit is cute, too.
It's so
I'll start using that on my kids. Pack it up. Pack
or
your kit
start
up.
using sacked on them, too.
Sacked.
If you don't eat this lunch, you're sacked. You're out of here.
You're sacked as my son.
Yeah, firing him.
I'm firing you.
So the court went through it and said just because of her using that words, it was, and again, to her family members, that it was not warranting of a firing, and she got $50,000. She didn't get her job back or anything, but she got $50,000. She made $40,000 a year, and so
That's nice. Hello.
yeah. How about that?
I'd take $50,000.
Yeah,
Yeah, to not work? Are you kidding me? Travel, bitch. That sounds awesome.
I think that would go through it pretty quick though. Then what do? You got no, salary coming in.
Well, you have to work again.
You just don't.
She has a whole year's worth of salary. Go travel.
You just don't think about far
Now
ahead.
you have the salary and time.
There was a time back in my day when I got fired, not from Q101, but from a different radio station, and they had to pay me for a year.
Oh, the things you could do with a year's worth of pay and no work and no family.
I didn't have a family, you're right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, think what you could do.
She said that
Eat,
the most.
pray, love.
I know.
She said, imagine what you could do.
Without your family.
And then she went, and no family.
All that money and no family.
Do you need to talk about something? Are you good? Because you're talking a lot about escaping your family.
No, I mean, I love them, but, like, I can't just go to Italy. They'll be like, take me with you.
See, when I got fired from this job, I got paid for a year. It was the best thing I ever got as far as the contract where I had to let.
Wow.
I know, Kenzie.
She's
That's
more
awesome. That never happened to me. I always had to work.
I've never turned on Kenzie so much.
She's not impressed by any of your accolades in your career. She's
No.
impressed by you getting fired and getting severance for a
For
year.
a year. Oh my God, that's awesome.
If you could
Where
see-
did you see the world? An entire year's worth of salary.
You know what I did?
What?
I went to Wendy's and got a Wendy's triple Baconator every night at 2 a.m. because I was depressed. I was depressed.
Depressed is like you won the lottery for a year.
You'd think, but I actually, believe it or not, love doing this and getting
But you
fired.
could do it again later.
I didn't think so at the time. I thought my life was over. This was a long time ago. It all worked out. You're right. I should.
Why are these things wasted on the wrong people?
I played Halo for 8 hours a day. I didn't move. I had sweat marks in my couch.
Think of what you could have done.
I
And you're
know.
a guy, so you can like safely travel on top of it.
So you can't?
I could like get human. I'm 5'2". I'm like ideal for human trafficking.
If I was going to human traffic somebody, I would human traffic Kenzie.
I'm the easiest to pick up. It's unbelievable.
It's like you have a luggage suitcase handle on your back.
I with wheels on my feet. It sucks.
Off to Epstein Island you go. That's
And,
tough.
and I'd walk up to any bus that looked like it's selling food. Anytime.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
starving.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, easy
Yeah.
target. Easy target.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.